Branch. I'm a trumpet player in Chicago. This is part of the Musket recording. We got our first 2 releases in September. And they're going to be Princess, Princess, and Musket. And the label is called Pionic Records. A pion is a subatomic particle. Pionic. There you go. We recorded Musket all analog. And it was because the engineer kind of hooked us up with tape. And so that was like a really... And we went to Electrical Audio, which is really well known for having great analog gear. So we went to 24 track, 2-inch tape at 30 IPS, and then we bounced to 2-track, 1/2-inch tape, also at 30 IPS. And it's like, and we're going to vinyl. We're gonna make downloads available, and give away download cards in the vinyl, or put the download cards inside the vinyl. So if you buy the vinyl, you get the free download of the album. We pretty much want to put out vinyl because that's what we like, and it sounds great. And these days, where everybody can download, whatever they want, you kind of got to think about whether or not you want to put anything out at all. And we feel that vinyl and the LP is just a better object than the CD. The CD to me can mean a CDR, it kind of means, oh, it's in my computer. Versus vinyl is like, okay, I'm listening to music. And, it'd be great for people to take our albums and listen to music, I think. This one major label is putting out a 7-record reissue of The Doors. And they've tied up one of the best record pressing plants in America, like, all year. They're not even taking new clients. You have to master it differently. We're getting it mastered at Chicago Mastering Service, and they kind of specialize in going to vinyl. They have a Neumann Lathe, so they actually make a cut of your vinyl there. And, I mean, you master it just like you would master anything else. Kind of. I don't know if actually, I go in for the session tomorrow, and I don't know if we actually have to use the computer at all for this, for the tape stuff, and so I'm pretty excited about that. The other record, Princess, Princess, was recorded live on the PowerBook, Logic, and the Motu, with our microphones by Ron. And he loaded that up into the computer, and then we're going to go from the computer into the Neumann Lathe, and he's going to cut it from there. It's going to be my first time seeing the process done, so I'm pretty excited to see how it actually all works. I have ideas, but I'm sure that they'll shatter. And like as far as cost goes, it's more expensive than CDs because I think mostly because CDs, when you get it, you get the whole package done at once. And vinyl, it seems like it's really like there's one process for getting the record, and then the other side of it's the jacket. And we're going pretty much to 2 different companies, maybe even 3 or 4, to get it all done. So you incur one cost, and then you have the other cost. And it's not that much more than CD. It's probably $500 to $1,000 more per 1,000. So hopefully not $1,000 more. But we recorded electrical, and then I was mixing at Semaphore yesterday. Mm-hmm. It was really cool. Like, it was the whole time. Like, we never had to look at a computer screen. It was all listening and like looking at the gear, like watching the gear to make sure everything's okay. And when things were screwy, it was like looking at the board and looking at the levelers and the meters, and you didn't have to. At the end of the day, my eyes didn't feel completely burnt out. And it just felt like a lot more, it felt a lot more natural, and it felt like the real process. I think that Pro Tools is wonderful, and it's done a lot for home studios especially. It's made it recording a lot more accessible to many people. But I feel like the real process is analog. It feels a lot to me like analog photography versus digital photography. And and spending the whole day in the darkroom, like developing pictures and, you know, like focusing your print and looking at the grain. It seems like the same thing when you're fine-tuning compressors, and I like being able to hear the hardware. Maybe that's another reason why I like vinyl. It's a Knight. This is a little 1/4-inch guy, and we can do we can go out of the board and do 2-track bounces onto here. So we actually use this board a lot for our preamps for the drums. It's just an old PV board, and it just sounds cool. And then we usually go into the board and the computer at the same time, and then out. Yeah, out from main outs. We can either do main outs of the board or main outs of the interface, and so we could be recording at the same time. And another thing we use actually kind of frequently is the 4-track, and we just run the mix into the 4-track to get that tape compression, and then we run the stereo mix from the 4-track back into the computer. I got them at a thrift store from Milwaukee for 20 bucks, and I had carried him home like 2 miles, and he's like really heavy. I don't know why it's a he. I guess he just looks like a guy to me. And my friend was so jealous that I had found it before him. He wouldn't help me carry it. So, yeah, it was a little point of contention, but I'm glad it worked out.